Good evening. It's bourbonblog.com. I'm Tom Fisher here live with you from Bourbon Blog headquarters. And of course, we love bourbon. We love cigars. We also love rum. We love all things that are delicious. And of course, when it comes to cigars, we also really enjoy Macanudo cigars. And we have some Myers rum. We're going to pair up some. We're going to talk about this new wonderful partnership with the Myers Original Dark Rum cigars that was just launched a few months back. And I have senior marketing and brand manager Matt Wilson joining me live from, is it Virginia you're in right now?
Yep, Richmond, Virginia.
Richmond, Virginia. We're going to really dive into to the cigars. We're going to dive into the rums. We both have the same rums, and we want to give a shout out. Thanks so much, Myers Rum, Christy, our friends, for making sure we had the same rums. We're going to even get into one that has been finished. I know a lot of those fans that we've been telling about this are fans of the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection. There's one rum that actually has been finished in used Buffalo Trace Antique Collection barrels from Thomas Handy. So we're going to really dive into pairings, but and
Can't
also
wait to try that one.
We're going to actually have two cigars, but we actually, you have a different cigar than I have right now. What do you have right now, Matt?
This is a cigar that was just released it is the Macanudo Sumatra right here.
The Macanudo
and what you have in your possession is the Macanudo Ecuadorian Shade.
Excellent. And these were a limited edition, right?
No, this is actually a full-time offering.
Full-time. Okay.
This was our
all year.
This launch for us this year, and we launched both of those together, and a permanent part of the Macanudo family.
Love it. And this is these are both some really interesting cigars. Tell me first about the Ecuadorian Shade, the one that I'm smoking.
Yeah, well, really, honestly, you can't talk about one without the other. They both have the same binder and filler, and the only difference is the wrapper. So, the idea there, it's got, just for those who are curious, what's under the hood, your Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper here, and then you have the Ecuadorian Shade, which is a little bit more profile and color. And what they both have in common is the same binder, Connecticut broadleaf, and the same filler, which is 4 different tobaccos, 2 from the Dominican Republic and 2 from Nicaragua. So they're brothers and sister, if you will. But we wanted to launch those together and really help kind of educate people about what the wrapper does to a cigar experience, how that can really change, even if you keep everything under the Ecuadorian Shade that you have is going to be a bit more milder. It's got more of a herb taste, in my opinion. You got a little bit of notes of kind of cream, some very subtle sweetness. And then the Sumatra is just a little bit more robust, a little more richer. So really, it's just a cool way to be able to see, hey, what happens with the wrapper? You try them both. Maybe one's appropriate occasion, and maybe in the morning, say, and another one's a little better for the evening. But really, people discover what profile fits them for what occasion, and just to be able to just see what the impact does to a wrapper, the wrapper has on a cigar when you keep everything else the same.
And you're really keeping everything else the same except for that wrapper. That's really the beauty of these two cigars. And had you ever really done a release like this before in Macanudo's history, that where you had just done 2 at the same time and changed one element?
No, it's the first for Macanudo. It's not a complete thing. Well, actually, I take that back. We didn't do it simultaneously, but many decades ago now, Macanudo had the original Cafe blend and iconic cigar for many decades. And then in about late 90s, early 2000s, they did some innovation where they changed the wrapper and kept everything the same. But this is the first time that we have launched both to really kind of tell a complete story. So not too often we do this.
Doesn't happen too often. I'm really enjoying this Ecuadorian Shade, and we're both pairing it. I'm going to go ahead and grab the glass that I'm pairing it with. The Myers, you have it too there, the Myers Reserve Dark. and I'll tell you a little bit about this wonderful rum. It is an 86 proof, right there, just a little above the 80 proof line. And this is a premium, richer expression of the classic Myers Jamaican dark style rum. It is recognizably Myers. It's designed to be a little bit more complex than what you might have had before with the original Myers rum. Though we love all the Myers rums, this one's just a little bit more complex. And what you're looking for in this is some just wonderful charred oak. You're getting some nice, let's say, some nice dark chocolate, some baking spices and cocoa. Some nice.
Yeah, and I'm just curious. Oh, go ahead. I was just curious. I'd only been familiar with kind of the classic Myers, and obviously we have a cigar partnership. We'll talk and smoke about shortly. But
Yeah.
Is this kind of a rare offering, or is this an everyday release from Myers?
So this is a little bit more rare. It's a step above the, and when I say a step above, as far as something that's a little bit more, has a little bit more complexity to it than you would see with the original Myers. This is something that you can find. I don't see it everywhere, but yeah, a little bit more rare, I would say. As they say on the label, it's very rare, fine rum, and of course,
there you go.
Yeah, that's what it says. So we know that, of course, Myers was founded in 1879, and just to go a little bit along the timeline, there was quite a bit of growth in the 1920s, especially when the tiki culture established the connection to the planter's punch. It became globalized in the 1930s. In the 1950s, there was really a rise of the Mai Tai culture, and Trade Vic's masterpiece, the Mai Tai, became one of the more popular rums, but there was still a lot of interest in rums. And then the commercialization around the late 1950s happened, and Eustace Myers sold to Seagrams. And then we come into the 2000s when Diageo has it, and they call it the Dark Ages. On the timeline that I've taken a look at it and researched some. And then around 2018, there's what's called in the brand a new beginning, and that's when Sazerac acquired Myers Rum. And since the acquisition, Sazerac has actually really reformulated the original dark rum back to its original recipe, and also launched several innovations. So if you haven't tried the original dark for a while, try it. It's been reformulated back to the original recipe starting around 2018. And then they started launching some new ones, like the ones we're going to try in a little while, some of the more rare ones. This one, even a Navy strength rum. So it's really come full circle. And I would say again to all those watching, and I see a lot of you already commenting, that if you haven't tried Myers for a while, it is different than it used to be. There's, like many brands have, a lot of layers of expressions. And I think this one, for me, I've always enjoyed, Matt, a wonderful cigar like this with a really good rum. This is working really well with the Ecuadorian shade. How's it tasting with the Sumatra?
It's pretty good. I mean, honestly, again, as I mentioned, a lot of the components of the cigar are the same. The wrapper obviously plays a big part in kind of those underlying notes from the filler and the broadleaf binder. I think the real only difference you and I have is that this is maybe just a slightly bit more richer, a little more robust,
a little more spice,
maybe a little bit more spice. Yeah, but again, nothing that dilutes or changes the experience thing. So overall, I like how it complements each other.
Excellent. I already see a few comments, and I should say, no matter where you're watching right now, whether it is X, whether it's YouTube or Facebook, take a moment, like this, please. That helps us really spread the word of rum and cigars, because there probably could be nothing else better to spread the word on. If you're watching this, there's nothing else better to. So like it, share it, and ask us some questions, or leave a comment below just right now in real time. Ask us some questions. We are live. We'd love to discuss cigar and rum pairings and spirited rum pairings. When you just got back from Puerto Rico at Club Macanudo, from what I understand.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, just some news for cigar and Macanudo fans. We have Club Macanudo, which is a high-end smoking lounge experience. The most iconic one that's been around for a long time is the one in Manhattan. popping up all over the world. We got several in Asia, one in Denmark, another in Louisiana, and then most recently, we have one now in Puerto Rico. It's the first Macanudo in the Caribbean. And
Wow.
yeah, it was very timely that we're doing this because Puerto Rico and rum go hand in hand. And I was able to have some pairings of my own while on that trip over the past week. But yeah, if anyone is ever interested in just a luxurious experience, Club Macanudo, wherever you are. But particularly, it was just nice to have a cigar and a drink in paradise. So would, if you guys are ever in on the island, check it out.
I bet so. Were you able to? And of course, we love Myers Rum, but you were probably discovering quite a few new rums there. Anything that's really just specific to that region that you were finding really worked with the cigar nicely?
It's funny you should say that. I had a few different rums, but one that I had in particular was made by a gentleman named Roberto. He is a man of many talents, but he's a longtime cigar retailer in the San Juan area. And he's a rum maker himself. He has a rum called Cofino, and he's actually worked with my company, General Cigar, and Davidoff to make cigars with the intention of pairing it. It's more of a traditional cigar, so a little different than the one we're about, which is more flavor infused. But yeah, it was a pleasure to be able to have cigars from a maker who makes rum and knows cigars. So that was a pleasure to be able to have that with him.
Amazing. And then you and that really worked amazingly, I'm sure, with the cigar.
Absolutely.
Cool. And then you were in Puerto Rico. You were there for, was this the launch of the club, or has it been open just for a little while?
Technically, it's been open since December, but this was our first official Macanudo to actually celebrate the launch of the two cigars we're smoking right now. So it was, it's been open, but this was the official kickoff once we were able to get everybody to find some time to celebrate.
Beautifully done. Quite a few of those Club Macanudos. And look, speaking of Club Macanudo, look who's watching. Well done on that event, Matt. I think we're seeing our good friend Sean Williams watching.
Oh, thank you, sir. Happy to see you're tuning in.
Thank you,
we
Sean.
We got to catch up over. The three of us need to catch up again over exactly this.
We do. I'm going to be seeing Sean later this week, so we look forward to seeing you, Sean. And of course, Club Macanudo in Manhattan is where Sean and I did our master series, which is on Cigar World, who's also been very helpful today. So watch that on cigarworld.com. We pair nice spirits and whiskeys with some wonderful cigars on that series, which is also now airing on Wine Watches and Whiskey. So be sure to check out the Wine Watches and Whiskey Network. And I see Dimitri, thanks for watching. Sean is a great dude. I know Dimitri's been to some of our events in Louisville, and yes, awesome. He is. So some of our Derby events where Sean and I have co-hosted, and Matt's a great dude too. And Matt and Sean and I spent some time in Louisville a few years ago trying some wonderful whiskeys, and we have to all get back together and do some of that distillery hopping. But right now, we're really hopping around to some rums from one to the other. And loving this, even as this goes along, this Ecuadorian shade. Was this one of the first newer launches that's a full-time launch for a while with Macanudo? These two?
And little sneak peek, I can say it because it's not, it's public. At the PCA, which is the big cigar trade show we had back in April, not only did we show shade in Sumatra, but we did a sneak preview of what we're going to launch next year, which is the San Andreas in the broadleaf. So same exact approach, everything under the hood is the same, Nicaraguan Dominican fillers, the broadleaf binder, but now you're going to be able to see what the San Andreas and broadleaf do, and that's going to be a bit more in the medium to fuller side of this, whereas the Ecuadorian shade's mild, and then the Sumatra, I'd say, is a light medium. And so really being able to kind of show the full spectrum and really invite people, whether you're a cigar aficionado or you're just getting into it, to be able to discover what the wrapper does and ultimately what fits your palate. And for you to enjoy.
So it's a San Andreas wrapper with similar construction.
Same construction, and then a broadleaf as well. So it'll be two coming out together, but those are going to be more in the fuller side of the spectrum. So we'll have kind of four in the family. Another thing I forgot to mention, these are made at our factory in Nicaragua, Esteli, and might not be able to see too well, but it's box press. So it's the first time ever that Macanudo has had a dedicated box press line. We did it, one, to kind of differentiate it from, the rest of the Macanudo, but it also serves a function. You get a bit more of a cleaner airflow. The pack isn't as tight. Box press, and my personal opinion, it was a better format to help accentuate the wrapper and what that does to the smoking experience.
Beautiful. I like the San Andreas wrappers. I can't wait to see what that will do to the cigar, and that will come out. When should we be watching for it?
That'll be early next year that we'll have it. So early next year. Sneak peek, again, everyone has their own favorites. My favorite is the San Andreas, followed by the Sumatra. So again, hopefully everyone enjoys. But again, everyone has their own favorites. I was in Puerto Rico and I was telling everyone that the Sumatra is my favorite. And most of the crowd there was like, oh, I actually prefer what you're smoking there, the Ecuadorian. Different strokes for different folks. Whatever fits your fancy, we got it.
Love it. And I see more and more people jumping on again as we're starting off the broadcast here on bourbonblog.com. Thank you for watching us and liking this video. We have a lot more to cover. Please like it, share it, and ask questions. We love everyone for doing that. And again, this Reserve Dark from Myers Rum is beautiful. Those beautiful refined sugars. This is a very refined Jamaican rum. It's a non-age statement, but it has some wonderful age on it, really coming up underneath this cigar. Really, for me, with the Ecuadorian, really helping. I'm getting even those creamy notes are really coming about in a really luscious way, not overly sweet, but just really just beautiful and elegant. And this pairing, I really like. This is a great rum to pair with the cigar, and I'm sure it's tasting nice with that Sumatra too.
Yeah, and that creaminess, that's the Ecuadorian shade. That's kind of a classic descriptor for it. So, yeah, that makes sense.
We'll get to that Myers Original Dark Rum here in just a moment. But as a segue, let's just let's take a sip of this one. If you have that one poured, Matt, or if you want to go ahead and pour it, we'll talk about this one, and we'll see how it pairs with the current cigar, and then we'll go on to the
guy here.
Yeah, that's right. The legends. So really, this is a very special bottle I'll tell you about. This is a limited blend. It's called the Myers Signature Legends Collection Legacy Blend Number 1. So will there be future blends? Possibly. I'm not exactly sure. But it is a blend of Jamaican and Barbados both. So we're thinking about those flavors we know to be Jamaican, along with more Barbados flavors. It was created by Sazerac master blender Drew Mayville, along with Richard Seale of Four Square Rum Distillery. And so they got together. They wanted to blend something that would bring really together the Jamaican rum with the balance and the refinement that's always been associated with Barbados rum. So what we're going to be looking at is how some of those more tropical notes that are very delicate, like pineapple and mango, maybe even just a little bit of ripe banana, also hit that honey, that clove that we know from Jamaican rum, how they come together. And it's a little bit more sweet, and I would say polished, hangs a little lighter in the palate than the last rum. And it really is just beautiful, right at 94 proof. I've been sipping these just as I was doing my homework before the interview. So this one's just really beautiful, a little more proof. And you're getting two great master blender, master distiller together that really collaborated on this. And it's just, it's amazing. This one's a little bit more rare. You may have to shop online. You may find it in your market, but it is a little bit more rare. So cheers, Matt.
Cheers. I was already sipping it, and
the fruit.
I can taste a little bit of that higher proof, a little bit of that heat, which is not a bad thing. one thing I like to do with cigars is a thing called a retrohale, where you blow the smoke out of your nose, and you have more, as you know, with bourbon or anything with the senses, you have more olfactory nerves, and you can pick up more notes. So just kind of feeling that, wanted to retrohale this, and I feel like it's going to complement really well with each other.
As you retrohale it and you're sipping the rum, what's it doing in the complete sensory?
Definitely, I'm getting a bit of that clove, bit of that spice personally.
Yeah.
I like being able to, and that's kind of the fun thing with smoke first and drink, or switch up the order, and what does that do to each other. I'm really liking being able to take a sip of this and then doing a retrohale, or you don't have to do a retrohale either, and just kind of having those things work a little bit together. I kind of personally like that kind of spice pepper. Yeah, those kind of work really well. But I'm seeing those notes that you talked about, kind of that citrusy or pineapple, I guess, kind of note as well, which is nice.
Yeah, I get that too. The pineapple, the citrus, a little of that clove. I'm just really rocking the glass.
Mm-hmm.
I'm nosing that. I'm going back to the cigar, and again, really well done to Macanudo on both. I've had the Sumatra too before. Love that. Love the Ecuador. This is a beautiful pairing. And again, if you're thinking about a rum that is elegant, refined, has some proof, but just doesn't take over a cigar that's maybe a little bit lighter, this is really a great combination. Now, one of the questions I think we just got was, is the first one, would I make a cocktail, a Mai Tai? Would I be doing some type of a tiki cocktail with it? Possibly. This is one, though I always say, if you have a wonderful bourbon even, and a rare older bourbon, you want to make a Manhattan, you want to make an old fashioned, do it. But I really do think this is more of a sipping rum. This one in particular, I probably wouldn't do in a cocktail. However, I always want to encourage people to do what they want. This is just a great sipping rum, though.
And this might be a rookie question, but I've always been curious. I know you have you got your sipping drinks, bourbons, and then you got your kind of more mixer. I guess, what, in your opinion, what kind of why is this one maybe not, in your opinion, appropriate for say a mixer or a Manhattan versus something? Just curious what your criteria is. Does it get lost? Do you lose too much of the uniqueness when you mix it up, in your opinion, or?
That's a great question, Matt. I think that when something is more nuanced, like the nuances, there's more layers. There's the fruit, there's the spice on this, there's this refinement. I think that it can get lost. Whereas if you have a really bold, whether it's a rum or a bourbon, or even if it's not so bold, and there's not those layers of refinement, that it's okay. It's okay to do in a cocktail. But no matter what, I think people, if it has I've had Manhattans and old fashions that have been made with very old bourbons and rye whiskeys, and they can work beautifully well, but you may lose part of what you're looking for. Like all of these spirits, the rums, the bourbons, the ryes, they've been aged for quite a long time. So that's part of why it is just that I don't personally do it, but I think it can be done, and it's a good question. And keep on. To those of us who are watching, we got people watching from all over the world, I'm seeing right now. Ask us some questions if you have questions. If you've tried any of these Myers rums, let us know down below, or tell us what your favorite rum and or bourbon and cigar pairing is. And like I said, we still haven't gotten to that very rare buff. I'll just say this. When I say BTAC, they know what we're talking about. It's the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection. There's a rum that's been influenced by a Thomas Handy barrel that we're going to get to. I heard about it. I was amazed. And you can still find some out there. It's very limited edition because Buffalo Trace Antique Collection is very limited. There was only a few barrels. I don't know how many, but a select number of barrels they're putting this rum into. But you know what? Let's do it. Though I love the cigar we started with. When you feel ready, my friends, we'll go to the Myers cigar here. This is
yeah, absolutely. I guess just one comment.
Yeah, please.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I like what you said when you answered my question around, hey, what's your kind of criteria? Obviously, everyone one do what, but what's more appropriate for maybe a mixer or a cocktail, and that's actually a similar exercise that we have to do in cigars, and particularly with the blends that we're smoking right now. Is the objective was to have the wrapper shine and really showcase what does the wrapper do. So we had to do a lot of work under the hood with the fillers in the broadleaf to make sure that it wasn't overpowering, to make sure that it allowed the wrapper to be the show. So I just thought it was interesting. We literally smoked 30 different over the past couple of years to kind of get to where we were. And it was really about, hey, it doesn't even have to be necessarily what tastes the best always in this exercise. It was more about, hey, what is good, but then allows the wrapper to shine. Because if you put too much, say, heavy Nicaraguan fillers or stuff like that, it could be a spice bomb, and then it just overpowers something like the Ecuadorian shade that you're smoking. So parallels are all there with cigars and spirits.
I love that. It's that balance that we have to strike with flavors, and you all go through so many different variations of just the right amount of tobacco of this one, the San Andreas, the Sumatra, the Piloto Cubano, whatever it might be in cigars. You taste through hundreds of these.
Oh yeah, and, they're not all great, but that's part of the sausage is made. You got where you are. So yeah, I just thought the parallels were interesting there, but I guess that's why we're on here. They just go hand in hand together.
They really do. Though I know in bourbon or in rye whiskey and whiskeys, spirits, rums, we may be going back and forth, nosing one, making notes. Are you ever going back and forth as you're trying different ones? Or are you just sitting through one, or do you go back and forth between?
Literally for future ideas, I was going back and forth. A, B, B, A, every order in which way. So yeah, it's, to make sure cigars are subjective. Like anything, say wine, everyone's got a different palate or a different, thing that they prefer to, but yeah, we want to best to try to deliver something that smokers would like. So yeah, there's a lot of back and forth, tinkering, all that.
Excellent. Again, seeing so many great people coming online. I see my parents watching. Thanks. They left a comment. See so many great folks watching, sharing this. So thank you all for watching. The M by Macanudo. First of all, this wrapper, this really, when I first saw the wrapper, I was just thinking, you all have really just done something so special to partner with Myers Rums. Tell us just a little bit about the M line and how the whole partnership came about.
Yeah, absolutely. In the world of cigars, you got kind of what you'd say your more traditional cigars. So what you and I just smoked. But then there's another segment, which we call the flavors. So you can imagine coffee, mint, even cherry. There's all sorts of things like that. So what we have with Macanudo is we have a franchise called M by Macanudo, and that is where we and label or brand the flavored cigars that we have. So we have a bourbon flavored, we have an espresso and cream, bourbon, honey, etc. But our most recent addition is this M by Macanudo Myers Rum cigar. So this one here, we have a great partnership with Sazerac. For example, Cohiba and Weller. I know you and I have worked on that with Sean in the past. So in the spirit of that partnership, Sazerac is doing a lot more with Myers. I think you know a lot more about that than I do, as far as they're really trying to, reinvigorate that, but also do some new things. So with Myers being a focus, opportunity to do a collaboration, and we just thought it made the M by Macanudo name, and to really do a proper flavored cigar. The intention there is to have a rum tasting cigar, but with the idea of it being intended to complement with a rum, particularly Myers Rum. But it's a sweet, are that you could pair with a lot of different things, even a dessert if you'd like. But the intention there was, how do we create something that would complement the Myers Rum drinking experience from a pairing standpoint?
Well, even just before, and you've done such a beautiful job on this, even just before lighting this, just having it cold, no light. I mean, the flavors I'm getting chocolate, I'm getting those rum notes, that fruit. I mean, this is the M series overall. I mean, we've talked about we tried the espresso and cream, the honey, all these that you've done are really beautiful. I don't always reach for a flavored cigar, but when they're done well, I do. Just like a flavored bourbon or whiskey. This is flavored so beautifully. I've had it with some bourbons. It's been beautiful with bourbons, with ryes, but especially with rum. That's what it's really made for. Um, there's probably a lot of secrets involved in how you flavor it, but how do you, for those that don't know, how do you flavor a cigar?
Real quick, are we on number 3 yet, or which? I'm out of rum. Are we on 2 or 3?
Yeah, let's go to 3. Let's go to Thomas.
Are we ready for? Was it 3 time? Okay, just
let's do it. This
had to make sure.
Those of you that love, tell us if you've ever had a Buffalo Trace Antique collection. You know, this is a very rare collection, and they're going to be doing another drop of this. They're going to be doing. I just learned today. They're going to do a second BTAC signature cask collection release. This was the first collection release that they put out the last couple of years. It's hard to find, but if you can't find it, you're in luck. They will do more. Now, on the first drop, they did a finish of George T. Stagg at 100 proof, a William LaRue Weller barrel finish at 83 proof, a Sazerac 18-year-old rye barrel finish at 86 proof. This one, the Thomas H. Handy Sazerac Rye Barrel Finish at 84.5. They also have done an Eagle Rare 17 barrel finish. So, you know, when you talk about the BTAC collection, this is so exciting what they've done for those of us that maybe you haven't even gotten your hands on a BTAC, or you've just had it once, but you're tasting it through rum because they've taken a nicely aged rum, and then in the first barrel, then they finished it in this. This is a single barrel rum, something very, very special. And really, one of my favorites of the BTAC collection is indeed the Thomas H. Handy. Just a beautiful selection of rye, 6-year-old at a very high proof, barrel proof. They're putting this rum in it, and it's just divine. And again, like I said, if you can't find it, you might be able to find it online or in a spirit shop near you. There will be another drop or another release of something similar on the BTAC collection for Myers. So be watching for that. Good question. And then how do you flavor a cigar? I'm just beginning to get into this with the Thomas.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Look how much, and when you talk about dark, that's finished. The finishing in a used barrel, because it has that char, it has that rye trapped in it. Look how much darker that is. This is a very dark rum, not only because it's a dark rum, but it's finished in this barrel. So,
yeah. So, I mean, to answer your question, there's a few ways to do it. You know, there's some people, we even say the Weller by Cohiba, for example, where you can actually take the bourbon barrel, the wine barrel, the rum barrel, and you could actually literally age some of the tobaccos. Personally, we found that the binder, which is what sits between the wrapper and then the filler, was the best can. And I believe it was broadleaf that we found that just seemed to kind of take the flavor. And that was in Weller, but that was an example of where you can kind of use some barrel aging techniques where you have a seasoned or recently empty barrel. You put it in and the wood just kind of helps marinate the flavor. That's to do it. And other ways that you can infuse using, different kind of flavors. Each factory has their own maybe kind of recipe to it, where you can kind of infuse the cigar sometimes after it's rolled or while it's still rolled. So there's a variety of ways to do it. This one is made by our friends at La Aurora, based in the Dominican Republic. And this one here is what we call an infused cigar. Cool. So this is not one that we barrel age, say, in like Myers or use some Myers. This is one where, hey, we took the Myers Rum, and tested it, tried out different blends with the Myers Rum. Trying out different blends, it's a little funner when you can pair it with a spirit. So that was hey, what really complements the flavor notes of Myers Rum? And then working with Sazerac, shared it with them too, got their blessing that, hey, this is a good one. So yeah, that was kind of a little bit of the story there. It's an Indonesian wrapper, and then the binders and fillers are all from the Dominican Republic.
Beautiful. And what I love about this and how you flavored it is that you get those Myers Rum flavors. You get them, you get the sweetness, but it doesn't take away from the fact that it's already just such a beautiful cigar. It's a great balance. Some flavored cigars I've had in the past from elsewhere have been too sweet or just a little bit too overdone. This one is, you get the rum, you get the flavors, the chocolate, just this wonderful, against wood note, because when you think about the rum, you think about the wood, you think about the sugars, you think about all these, but it's just this wonderful, just this cigar just really, the cigar makes the rum, has this luxurious note as you pair it. So it's with any of the rums, by the way, but with this one in particular, it's just beautiful. I get those aromatics in the tobacco. I get the earthiness. It's a great balance. And I think that you've done that with all the.
Yeah. Yeah, and I assume maybe you did a little practice beforehand. Yeah, the order actually worked out pretty well. I agree it would work well with probably all the rums, but I like the third one with this cigar over the second one. I like the second one a lot, but that a bit of that spice and higher proof. I prefer what we have here in this pairing. The other thing too, just a little plug, shameless plug, Ludo. One thing with flavored cigars, for those who may not be familiar, you do get there's a whole variety out there. Again, it's ultimately what do you like and what works for you, but there are others, some very popular ones that just are very heavy on the flavor, almost a little too much, where, maybe a little artificial a bit, or hey, you light it up in a room and it kind of, you smell it a mile away. What we try to do with them by Macanudo is it's a little bit of that bridge from a traditional cigar to a full flavored cigar. So you still, the tobacco, you still feel like you're smoking a cigar. Yes, it's flavored. We got a sweet for a nice kind of sugary taste when you smoke, but you'll get tobacco. It's not completely drained and washed out. Similar to what we talked about before. How do you make sure that it's don't get lost? They have their time to shine and nothing else overpowers it. That's what we try to do with them by Mac. It's flavored, but you still have the tobacco and the cigar experience as well.
You do. You have it all. It's it's just like taking a take a bourbon or a rum, you put it in a cocktail. You want to have enough of that rum or that bourbon or that spirit to taste the spirit, but also taste the other elements, whether it's the fruit, the sour, the sweet, the bitter notes you're putting in it. It's well balanced. And something to watch. And for those of you that have tried any of these BTAC finished Myers rums, if you haven't tried one, definitely try it. If you have tried it, tell us about it down below, how you like it. With this particular one, the thing to watch is the sweet tropical Jamaican rum that meets this dry, spicy American rye. You're really taking a lot of cultures and heritages, putting them together in one glass. And then other places, as you mentioned, the Indonesian, the tobacco, the Dominican, and there's a lot of hands that have been on and talent that have been on both of these that come together, and the flavor's just divine.
Yeah, and just a little fun fact trivia note is actually both Myers Rum and Macanudo have their roots in Jamaica. So early on in its history,
love that.
60 plus years ago, it was made at called the Temple Hall factory in Jamaica for a long time. There's a whole history. Macanudo goes back to 1868, so really right around, not too far off from Myers. There's a bit of a Jamaican connection. Now, this day, we make a lot of the things in Dominican Republic, Honduras, Nicaragua, but time Jamaica was the home of Macanudo. So that was a nice little footnote too with
That is so cool.
the Macanudo kind of coming together with some of those Jamaican roots.
That is so cool. I see a good question here. Thank you, George. Says he's joining us late, but that's okay. He's asking about the MSRP on the cigar. Well, we'll ask Matt here in a moment. Well, go ahead. Tell us first. What's the MSRP on the cigars we have? Then we'll tell you about the rums.
Yeah. I think he has some rums, but yeah, let's just share it all. So the cigars we were smoking earlier, for you were able to tune in, George, we had the Ecuadorian Shade, and then we had a red one called the Sumatra. These are brand. This is the Robusto size. This is the smallest size we offer, and that's priced at a really nice price point at $6.99. So very affordable cigar. And then the Myers Rum we're smoking right now is just under $10.
And this is done. Is this just done in what size? Just this size,
this is just done in the Robusto size.
Robusto, okay. Just the
so
Robusto.
You can do a lot of different sizes. What we decided was, hey, Robusto is popular size for this segment. At least that's what we found. So we just wanted to start with this. We have other flavors such as espresso and cream, where we got things like a Bellicoso, which is a unique shape of a cigar. But a lot of our flavors, recently we've stuck to the Robusto size. So we find that seems to be, what people kind of gravitate towards when it comes to the flavored segment.
I like that you play with it on those Zims. Okay, so thank you for that. So on the rums, we have the Myers Reserve Dark. This is around $30. You may see it for give or take 35, but around $30. On the Signature Legacy Blend #1, the one where we talked about with Drew Mayville and Richard Seale of Foursquare, and Drew Mayville, of course, from Sazerac. This one is around 50. However, I've seen it online for 70, 80 plus. And again, this is one you may have to hunt for a little bit more, just depending on where you're at. But just such, even for an MSRP, if you can find it for 50 or even 70 or 80, this is such a beautiful, really complex and really delicate rum, very elegant. And of course, this Thomas H. Handy and the rest of the BTAC finished signature cask collection. The MSRP is right around $79.99. However, I've seen it online for considerably more, considering how rare it is. And of course, the connection to the BTAC Buffalo Trace Antique Collection. So you have just a nice variety here. Just all so good. And as I mentioned, the last several years, Myers Rum has been releasing more and more limited editions like this and more interesting collections. So be watching for those. This is, I'm really impressed. I love the fact that it goes back to those Jamaican roots. And as far as other pairings, of course, we love this cigar. We love your other M's. Are there any other favorite pairings you've had recently with one of your favorite Macanudos and a Spirit? Do you have any favorite go-tos?
Yeah, there's a few. My personal forte is more in the traditional cigars, but I think there's a time and a place for everything. And I actually do enjoy several of the M by Macanudos. Quick event story: while I was in Puerto Rico celebrating the Club Macanudo kind of release party there, met a lady that trying out some of the flavors, and she really liked the espresso and cream, which is one of my personal favorites in the line. It's actually a barber pole, so it's got two different wrappers on it, so it's got a visual. It's also got an offering in that Bellicoso, which is a bit more of that tapered shape. Yeah, she had it with a dessert, so that's kind of and she enjoyed it. So there's all kinds of things you could do. Coffee naturally fits as well. So really, it's just kind of liking how things kind of come together palate wise. Whatever works for you. But yeah, just for example, a lady I met in Puerto Rico said that she really enjoyed kind of the pairing of the espresso and cream with her dessert. So
I love that. And it has that beautiful sweetness, kind of right for the end of a meal. Goes well with a espresso martini, a nice dark. We even tried the other night. My
Yeah,
friend
it could be that. It can be an evening. It could
bourbon.
also be in the morning too. Similar to the Ecuadorian shade you smoke too. This is also commonly considered good pairing with coffee. So yeah, there's typically, not always, everyone's different, but typically the lighter cigars or maybe even a flavored cigars, you could do in the morning, for example, if that's how you like to start your day off.
Well, never a bad way to start the day. And hey, I'm just so glad right here in Bourbon Blog headquarters on the border of Indiana, Kentucky, we're finally getting a little bit of a break from the heat. So this is such a perfect night. Another question from George, and thank you, George. Are all three of the blends rolled, or is it just this one at La Hora?
Yeah, so it's just this one here, the Myers Rum, the flavored cigar Aurora. The other two blends, the Ecuadorian shade and Sumatra, these are not flavored. These are made at our factory in Esteli, Nicaragua. Typically, Macanudo has been in the Dominican Republic. We branched out a little bit. Nicaragua for quite a while now, well over a decade, has been kind of country and spot for cigars. So we wanted to create a bit of a different profile. So these are made by General Cigar in Nicaragua. And then the Myers Rum is made at La Aurora in the Dominican Republic.
I'm just going back. Thank you for that. And thanks for the question. Definitely keep on asking this. We'll stick around a few more minutes. And thanks for resharing this video and just joining us tonight. We like I said, we love bourbons, ryes, whiskeys, but we also like diving into cigars, into rums, to all things that are just delicious like this. And I just poured a little bit more of this wonderful Myers Rum signature cask collection, the Thomas H. Handy. Such a great bottle. You even poured some for some of your friends there today, didn't you, Matt?
I did, yes. So I had to, knowing that we were going to do this and you were gracious enough to send this, I had to, of course, share the love and the care package. So, yeah, I mean, again, everyone's different. Maybe it was the order we drank them into, but kind of personally, and some of the other guys really kind of gravitated more towards the Thomas Handy. And I think I am too. Maybe it was just the order. Maybe if we drank them the other way around, I might choose a different answer. But yeah, the one that kind of stands out a little bit for me.
Love it, love it. And again, I love the pairing. The way these flavors from the rum are just on the palate. They're there. I do get that rye note, that spice, that deep elegance of a wonderful Thomas Handy from BTAC is coming through into this rum. They don't really tell how old this is. I can tell it's a little bit older than some. They don't tell how long the finish is, but it's long enough to really let those elements speak. And as I mentioned, there will be a second BTAC signature cask collection release, as well as a new overproof white rum in the near future from Myers. So little something just to tease it along there. And again, we're so happy that we appreciate our friends at Myers Rum sending these along. We also appreciate our friends at cigarworld.com. If you've not been on cigarworld.com, perfect resource for learning more about pairings, for learning more about these cigars, even subscribing. There is such a great idea. One other one you don't have with you, and I'll mention it, and it is a little higher proof. They have a Navy strength Myers Rum now. We'll make sure Matt gets some of this too at 114 proof. I love this it's on the label. But for those of you that love a wonderful Navy strength rum, which is right around, it can be anywhere from 114 to just a little bit lower, right around that element is what we would consider a Navy strength rum. Great for a cocktail. Or you can sip it, and it's big. It's so big, but wonderful for a really beautiful tiki cocktail.
So Navy strength is solely, how much alcohol content's in it?
It is. It's all about the alcohol content for those. Usually they're right around or right there exactly at 114 proof. The precise strength was actually benchmarked by the British Royal Navy back in the day to ensure that if the rum accidentally spilled on board, the gunpowder soaked in the liquid would still
Wow.
successfully ignite. So that's part of why they call it Navy strength.
Wow. I love that that history there, and
Yeah.
what an honor for the Navy to be to have that qualification with the alcohol.
Absolutely. So this, hey, we love tasting with you always. Last year we were trying the Emissary series, the España, the French. Are there some new ones? Are there going to be more new from that series as well?
Yeah, we don't have them right here with us, but what Tom's mentioning is we have the Macanudo line. It's more of a sophisticated smoke. It's not flavored. Really, the unique thing there is that it features European tobacco, which you really don't hear a lot of. So a couple years ago, we came out with the Emissary España. It features Spanish tobacco, aged years, grown in the Rio Lobos region of Spain, which is close to the Portuguese border. And that offered a unique characteristic. That was a huge hit. And all the tobaccos there are aged 4 to 10 years, and really more of a sophisticated smoke. And then last year we came out with the Emissary France, which has tobacco grown in the Bordeaux region. I've tried Googling and looking around. I don't think anyone's really done that before. Luckily with Macanudo, we have kind of the resources to go and scour and find different tobaccos or try different things. But that's a really good cigar. Both are medium bodied, in my opinion. And the Emissary, both of them are highly acclaimed, but particularly proud of was this past year, Emissary France got named by Cigar Aficionado, and it won number 12 cigar of the year, which is, for those who don't know, Cigar Aficionado's top 25 is kind of the pinnacle of rewards and accolades. So we were very honored to be able to have that at number 12 with Emissary France.
Congratulations on that. That's they're both splendid, just such delicious, complex cigars. And if you're interested to see that interview with Matt and I, look on our YouTube channel at Bourbon Blog. So we'll see more from that series, some different regions at some point.
Yeah. There's more countries in Europe, so yeah, stay tuned.
More to come. More to come. We can't tell them yet, though, can we?
Yeah, still in the works. We still got some testing to do to deliver the most thing. But yeah, I mean, there's tobaccos all over, Italy, even Andorra, for example, which is a country I didn't even really know about. All sorts of different kinds of tobaccos. So really, just thinking about the soil, the climate. Not to get too deep, but for example, the cigars we were just smoking, the Shade Ultra, both are from Ecuador, and Ecuador has it's a very great climate to grow tobacco because it's mountainous. You got a lot of cloud cover, which gives the soil. Nicaragua also has the volcanic soil, so all that, similar with wine and some of those other kinds of products, all of that can have an influence. So really just trying to identify what are those unique things in those different countries, like in Europe, and being able to share it with the people.
Excellent. You're doing such a great job there in your role, Matt, and we appreciate the Macanudo team and everything you all do. Again, many thanks to Cigar World, to Macanudo, to Myers Rums, and I'll put this is the actual link to Myers Rum. That way you can take a look at all the collections they have there, all the beautiful rums they're doing, and also follow them on Instagram on their Myers Rum official. And you may have said it, someone asked down below, again, the way it was flavored, was it throughout the cigar? Was it just the filler? Remind us again where the flavor went into.
It was an infused cigar. So in this particular case, it's not the case with the other at Macanudos, but with our friends a lot of roared, after most of it was rolled, they then infused some of the flavor in. So they experimented with different kind of what sweetness and notes kind of go in with the Myers Rum kind of palate and profile. So that's what they were able to do. Again, there's different ways to do it, but in this particular instance,
throughout the whole cigar.
Throughout the whole cigar, correct. Yeah. In other instances, it's bare one tobacco, and then having that carry the flavor profile. But in this, it's throughout the whole cigar.
Excellent. Matt, thanks for taking some time to join us on Bourbon Blog once again. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching and sipping and smoking along with us. And we'll look forward to your next releases.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, and cheers, everybody. It's been a pleasure.
Cheers, my friend.